Hi, this is Will with My Spiritual Clarity. Today's video is about the Helper's Paradox and what creates the Helper's Paradox. How did we get here? Where did it come from? What are the contributing factors to the Helper's Paradox? And if this is the first video that you've seen from me about the Helper's Paradox says that the more a person needs to help, the less able they are to help. Now, I've been seeing this with healers all over the world for about 5 years. I first started calling it the helper, fixer, saver thing. And then in my very first video, I called it the healer's paradox. And then quickly realized it's actually the helper's paradox, and that healers suffer from it maybe the most, second only to social workers and nonprofit professionals, both of which I've done in different capacities. It's part of why I can recognize it, because I've been there, and I'm still there in many ways. So that need to help. Now, it's nuanced because it doesn't mean that if you help or if you enjoy helping, that means you're stuck in the helper's paradox and that's wrong. It's a continuum. But it is very important to understand if you find that you are overgiving or people pleasing or burnt out, or that you maybe swing between a bit of resentment and then maybe lashing out a little bit at other people, or you just keep bottling it up and you never actually get it out at other people, but it still builds slowly because you're overgiving and you're probably exhausted. So if any of that sounds familiar or it sounds like you, this video is about where does it come from? Why do we suffer from it in the first place? So it comes from a couple factors, and I'm just going to highlight the big ones here. But we've got society, we've got religion, even if you don't have a religious background, and we've got family. So in those three big categories, I would say that religion actually takes the cake, even if you're not religious or even if you don't come from a religious background or religious family. Because especially in Western culture, and even many other cultures around the world, religion is so formative for culture. So speaking from a Christian background, I'm not Christian. I do have a unique prayer life with Jesus, but that's another video for another time about how, what does God have to do with the Helper's Paradox. But for now, my mom wasn't Christian. We didn't go to church, and yet I have the guilt of a Roman Catholic, as my friends used to pick on me for, and I didn't even know what that meant at the time. I grew up in this very Christian infused world. And I remember some video on history talking about the pilgrims coming across, and they were a particular part of Christianity. Of course, now as I make the video, I forget. Puritans, I think they were. And they really valued, service above everything else and putting everyone else before yourself, and your needs don't matter at all. It's all about everybody else, or it's all about God. And you got to give till it hurts. How do you know you've given enough when it hurts? You've got to give till your last breath. You've got to martyr yourself for the cause or for others. All these kinds of messages, even if we didn't get them verbally growing up, it's there in our culture. We prize and we praise those that give until it hurts. So, but that comes from religion, I find, and then that informs the second one, which is culture, society. Even if you didn't grow up in a religious household or home, or even if you didn't go to church. And by the way, I'm not here to throw religion or organized religion under the bus. I actually think there's a lot of wonderful, amazing blessings to be found there, and that I have found there. And again, that's a whole other video. So first one is religion, second one is society, and the third is our family. And again, religion and society can inform the family, but it could be a family value, to put others before yourself. I see it with me parenting my daughter. She's 5 right now, and we're trying to teach her about fairness and right and wrong, or our concept of right and wrong and our concept of fairness. And it's impossible for our bias to not get in there around what is the right thing to do. How do you be a good person? And it gets, again, this is very nuanced, because I'm not saying that we should screw everybody else and just go fend for yourself. That's also unhealthy. But I believe that this other extreme, the helper's paradox, is equally as unhealthy. And it's on that same spectrum. But we prize and we praise the givers, the moms. It often falls to moms, the martyrs, and we praise them. But that's actually very unhealthy. And it keeps us stuck in this cycle of growing resentment when we give, and don't get enough back and don't receive enough back. And that shows up big time for all of my clients who are healers and coaches and executives and CEOs. They give, but their business isn't nourishing them, either financially or emotionally or spiritually yet, because they've been giving and they haven't gotten that right balance of giving and receiving. Or the mom with their kids and they're give, and they don't receive and it gets unbalanced. Same with the executive or the CEO. They're giving, or they're people pleasing, or they're always putting others before themselves. And then before you know it, they snap or they get cranky or they lash out at their employees, not meaning to, but because they've been over giving and they're trying to find that balance. So I hope that clarifies a little bit where does the helper's paradox come from, or at least the biggies, so that you can have a better understanding for yourself as you go on this journey of identifying, are you stuck in the helper's paradox, or do your issues stem from something else? But that gives you the context and the background for this. So my name, again, is Will, and this is My Spiritual Clarity. Leave me a comment below, like the video, or subscribe if you like, and I'll see you around soon. Bye-bye for now.